Shit goes deep.
It was.
All the way to the White House.
It's alive! Let's show this prehistoric bitch how we do things downtown.
No, welcome to Empire of Geek. This is the second show of the week, or that might be the weekend. And in this second show, we like to let our respective hair down and we play a few games, don't we? So on this show, we're going to talk more about the comic books. We're going to have the Geek Quiz, the Ultimo Geek, and we're also going to have some fan film news, and we're going to watch a fan film and talk about it, and we're also going to do Geek Music Battle. So lots to be looking forward to in what hopefully will be a slightly shorter show. I like the second show of the week to be more of a tease, more of a kind of a sorbet for the taste.
But Paul's here, so it's going to be like an extra
3-course meal.
Yeah.
But it's going to be quality.
That you didn't want served up your arse.
So, yeah, hang on a minute. It won't be pub grub. It'll be decent, decent stuff from.
It'll go on forever. And like, it's
this is
late.
caviar. I'm pumping up your shitter, sir.
Exactly. Sit back and enjoy.
So what we're going to do first of all is, it's obviously a fan favourite, Ultimo Geek, the greatest quiz show ever.
Do we have fans?
Yes, Dan Butcher listens. I don't know if he's a fan, but he listens. And he has a cool comic book.
Well, this is true.
Yeah, people listen. Not normally to if I'm going to insult them or get the name wrong, which I'm probably going to do anyway.
Now that's what we'll start doing. A bit more name dropping. We're going to get a few more famous people dropping us a few lines.
You could get like your Aunt the Queen on, couldn't you?
I can't do that. Look, I can't. These are people I might know, right? But I'm not prepared to divulge it. That's another world.
He's 52nd in line for the
You've
throne.
got to be
He's
in the
not.
circle of trust we talk about, Rob, and you're not
There's
yet.
been another baby, haven't they? So he's probably...
Yeah, now 53rd line for the throne. The little bitch.
Yeah, got him on that list.
So we're going to play Ultimo Geek now. Just to remind you all at home how Ultimo Geek. It's an Asian cooking show in clarified butter. Ultimo Geek works like this: we play the game, and then I record who the winner is. And if you win Ultimo Geek, you get a point. So far, Andy is out in front, and I'm joined incidentally by the same people who joined me earlier in the week. What a coincidence!
Oh, yeah.
Andy, Paul, and Raoul. So far, Andy is 2 points ahead of second place Florian and Raoul. Florian's not here to fight his cause, but we've also got Paul. Paul is currently in third place because he's not been on as many shows as the others.
Yay.
So we're going to start playing. Now, this is possibly the toughest Ultimo Geek I've ever set you.
What?
Is it about Amigas?
No, it's not Ultimo shit. It's Ultimo Geek. Right, so question number 1, and please play along at home, ladies and gents. Anne McCaffrey is best known for the best-selling novel 1. The Dragon Riders of Pern. 2. A Song of Ice and Fire. 3. The Belgariad. Or 4. The Belendiath. Wonderful book, The Belendiath. So if you want to secretly show me your fingers, don't have to wiggle it at me, Raoul, in that salacious way. Thank you. What are you going with? How many is that? I can't see. They've all given me theirs, so you just want to hold yours out. Proud. So we've had Andy going with The Belgariad.
No idea.
By David Eddings.
Oh, well done.
And we both, Raoul and Paul, went with Dragon Riders of Pern, and they are both correct.
Oh, of course
1 point each.
That
Oh.
was an educated guess because she had Muck in her name, and Muck is like a Scottish name, and Pern is a bit like Perth, which is in Scotland.
It's a tentative link.
Well, it's obvious when you put it that way, isn't it?
That's what I thought.
Question number 2. In the classic fantasy film Legend, who plays the villain? Is it 1. Christopher Reeve, 2. Christopher Lee, 3. Dave Benson Phillips, or 4. Tim Curry? Okay, so Andy's. I can see your one. What the hell are you doing? It looks like you're abusing yourself in the ear. I can see. So we've got Andy has gone with Christopher Reeve.
Superman.
In fact, whereas both Paul and Raoul have gone with Tim Curry, and they're correct. It was Tim Curry.
It was Tim Curry.
Why would Superman be the villain in Legend? A horned...
Well, Christopher Reeve wasn't Superman in it.
So. Tom Man Cruise in it.
Yeah, Tom Cruise is a young
Christopher
fella.
Reeve wasn't Superman.
No, but Christopher Reeve didn't play Superman in everything he was in. He was an actor.
Yeah, he's an actor.
But he played Superman.
In Superman, yes.
Yeah, but I can't...
Films that weren't
Can
Superman,
you just
he
make
played
an
other
educated
people.
guess, and Christopher Reeve is unlikely to play like a horned villain.
How the fuck?
Why is he? Well, he's not likely now to do it, is
but
he?
Tim
Fairly,
Curry's got
but
a face, hasn't he? I mean, Christopher Reeves was a bit.
Christopher Reeve had a face.
No, I mean,
Everyone on
he's
that list has a
chiseled-
face.
But I mean, what I've been saying is, he's got chiseled features. He looks like a good guy, doesn't he, Christopher Reeves? Tim Curry's got more of an interesting, demonic kind of look, I think.
Did any of you see this? I was going to talk about it on the show earlier in the week. Did you see a film called, what's it called? Meet the Millers.
Yeah.
And you know the guy who played the dopey pretend son in it?
Mm.
He's going to play Pennywise the clown in the remake of It.
What?
They reckon, I know everyone who's heard it says, I can't remember his name, which is a bit crap, but look it up, listeners. But they reckon that he tested for it, and his test was so
Good.
menacing and good that that's why he got picked for it. So look up We Are the Millers, and the guy who plays the dopey son is going to be the new Pennywise the clown.
But they could do wonders with makeup, a lot of prosthetics and stuff.
So far we've got Paul and Rob fencing with each other on 2, and Andy on 0. I can see that lead being dropped. Question 3. What is the name of the hero in the never-ending story? Is it 1, Clungy, the inappropriate gerbil, 2, Orin, 3, Bastion, or 4, Xander? What are you going for? So you're going for Xander. Xander's wrong. Both Rob and Paul went with Bastion, and they're both correct.
I'm a different generation.
3 all.
These guys.
We're the same age,
You're not.
aren't we? How old are you?
I'm a damn sight older than you.
Yeah. Question number 4. Khazad-dûm is the lowest part of the mines of Moria and home to the Balrog in Lord of the Rings. A beast made with flame and shadow. Run, you fools! What sci-fi TV show also featured a place called Khazad-dûm? Was it 1, Battlestar Galactica, 2, Babylon 5, 3, Deep Space Nine, or 4, Space Goblins the Musical? Is your thumb involved, Rob?
No.
Raoul?
Oh, that's a difficult one. I'm going to have to go. I don't know.
And what are you going with? So, Andy has gone for Deep Space Nine. Great playing, Andy. He's consistent, whereas both Raoul and Paul have gone for Babylon 5, and they're correct.
That was a
The
guess.
Home of the Shadows.
Did you know that, Rob?
Yes, because Babylon 5, the visual effects were done on the Amiga. So I was a massive fan as a result.
Cut. Question 5. Klaatu Barada Nikto is a famous line from 1, Star Trek, 2, Mork and Mindy, 3, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, or 4, The Day the Earth Stood Still. Klaatu Barada Nikto. So, Andy went with Star Trek, Paul went with Star Trek, you went with Close Encounters of the Third Kind. The answer is The Day the Earth Stood Still.
Oh.
Close, though. So, still in the lead, Paul and Rob. Andy, why did you turn up?
It's so weird.
The famous line from Close Encounters of the Third Kind is actually, it's a sound, isn't it?
Question 6. The Omega Man, starring Charlton Heston.
That's Omega Man. Not
The Omega Man. The Omega Man, starring Raoul. Starring Charlton Heston is based on what book? Is it 1, I Am Legend, 2, The Tripods, 3, I, Robot, or 4, Brave New World?
Not Brave New World.
Which is your answer? There you go. What are you going with?
Oh, wait, I need to change this.
Okay. And you're going with... So you're going with The Tripods.
I don't even know
The
what it
streak's
is.
still going. Raoul's going with Brave New World.
Yeah.
And you're going with I Am Legend.
It's
Paul
not
takes the lead.
Oh, I changed my answer!
Raoul had it right to
Brave
begin
New
with.
World. Brave New
I
World is-
watched that.
Alden- Huxley, isn't it?
Yeah, it's based on the encounters of some of the earliest settlers to America, isn't it? With
Don't rub it in.
Pocahontas.
Oh,
Terrence
I
Malick
changed
made a
my
movie, didn't he?
answer.
Terrence
I
Malick
know,
made a
you
movie,
do it.
it's
Well, there's
pretty
still
good.
time. There's 3 questions left. Which
Yes.
sci-fi character famously theorised that one could time travel within his own lifetime? Was it 1, Doc Savage, the Man of Bronze, 2, Doc Emmett Brown, 3, Dr. Phlox, or 4, Dr. Beckett? I'll give you a clue. the first name of one of these is who I named my son after.
Yes.
So, who are you going with, Raoul? You're hiding it from me. Right. I love the poses you do. Like a gymnast striking that arched back. I'm with you. And what are you going with, Andy? Right, you're all going with 4.
Don't give him clues!
Andy cheated. And it's Dr. Sam Beckett. Stepped inside the quantum leap accelerator and vanished. I won't go into the rest of it. Yes, so everyone gets a point. Well done, Andy. Good watching what Raoul's doing. 1 point.
Typical.
I'm fucking
Bloody typical.
I lost by a country mile. So
Question 8. James Earl Jones played his voice. David Prowse wore the costume. Who was the face behind the mask in the original Return of the Jedi? Was it 1. Leonard Rossiter? Oh, Miss Jones. 2. Sebastian Shaw. 3. John Osborne. Or 4. George Bernard Shaw? Right. Return of the Jedi. Muppets in Space. That's how this is the toughest quiz. I've got your answer. I've locked it in. And
I'm not sure about this. I think I've got this wrong.
Is
but-
it too?
Shall I give you the answer then? So, the answer is Sebastian Shaw, and Andy and Paul have both got it right. So you're on 2 points. You are now ahead from...
I'm ahead by 1 point, aren't I?
No, you're ahead by 2 points now.
Oh.
And you're in second place. I think you would need to get them to draw. You need to get the next 2 questions right and to get them wrong.
Right, okay.
So if you get this one right, you basically won. We're still going to do it. What place does Obi-Wan Kenobi describe as a wretched hive of scum and villainy? Is it 1. Coruscant, 2. Mon Calamari, 3. Mos Espa, or 4. Mos Eisley? Got your answer. And the answer is... Have you watching Rob again?
No, I've watched the film.
Rob draws 1 closer to drawing. It was Mos Eisley. Paul, unfortunately, for Coruscant. Yes. I've been to Mos Espa, the set of it in Tunisia,
I'll
by
not
the way.
change my answer.
Question 10. Now, this is important. If you all get this right, Paul wins. If Raoul gets it and Paul gets it wrong, you have drawn level and you both get a point apiece and you will draw 1 closer to Andy. What is Soylent Green made from? Is it 1. Algae, 2. Grass and weeds, 3. Feces, or 4. Human beings? I've got your answer.
I've never even heard of Soylent Green.
Just to let you know, Raoul's got it right. To try to get attention.
This is from a TV series.
It's from a film called Soylent Green. And I think Charlton Heston's in it as well. And what are you going with? So Andy's gone with Grass and Weeds. What a shit film that would be. I found out what it is. It's Grass and Weeds. And Paul has gone for Human Beings. Paul wins this one. You both got the same one right. So, 1 point. You now draw into joint second place with Raoul. Andy is still somehow in the lead.
It's a carbon base, though, aren't they?
It had, you know what? I have never seen the movie, but it had to be something extreme. That was an educated guess.
It's basically, in it, there's this thing called Soylent Green, which is a food that people get given, and at the end of it, it discovers it's people. That's what it is. So, well done. So far, second place has been hotly contested. Somehow, Andy, you are still out in the lead.
Because it's no longer a team with somebody, you can no longer look at anyone else's fingers.
I bloody won that Arnold Schwarzenegger one on my own, didn't I?
Because you've got like a man crush on Schwarzenegger, that's why. You lick his poster at night before you go to bed.
Anyway.
You geek up on all this stuff. You love Amigas.
Right, what I want to talk about is... I was messaged last week by the European Comics Journal, and they're basically a group who they've produced one of them. They use Kickstarter to get some money to make a journal, and that journal is all about European comics. And so it's just like a magazine, and in it they get creators of European comic books to talk about the work. They have original stories in it, and they also get some of the artists to talk about how they create their pictures. And it's all about promoting European comics. And because the point is that in Britain in particular, American comics basically dominate, don't they? If you think about comic books, we don't see as much European stuff. In fact, if you talk about a European comic, Tintin and Asterix and Obelix is probably what most normal folks will know of.
Yeah.
So this is what their goal is. They've got a Kickstarter up at the moment to get issue 2 out there. If you want to go on a Kickstarter and look it up. the Kickstarter for the second issue, and the second issue is all about lesbian, gay and bisexual and transgender characters in comics. Raoul probably won't be buying it. But it's a really good idea, and I like the idea that the pushing of different types of comics, because some of the comics in Europe are amazing.
Yeah.
But we don't get to see them. In fact, I think it's real sad in Britain, and we are part of Europe, no matter what old Farage says. But we get more Japanese and American comic books over here. We've got kids who will happily, read tons of manga when we've got some awesome, and the artwork that you see from abroad is, some of it is absolutely cracking. But we miss out on that. We're deprived very much of it, and this is what their goal is. So they messaged me and they sent me a copy of the first edition. It's really interesting. It's for a great cause. So I wanted just to bring that up. So that is, if you go to Kickstarter and look it up, it's called European Comics Journal Part 2, and they're trying to raise £1,500. They're almost halfway there. There's 14 days to go. So it looks pretty cool. There's a ton of different things you can get if you pledge for it, but the plan eventually is they want to give it. They want to appear at lots of different big conventions and be selling it there and stuff. So it's great. So if you want to know a bit more about comic book artists you won't have heard of but that are amazing, go and look that up. Let me give you the names of the people involved with it before we move on to the next bit. So it's all done by, let me find the name of the editor, Marcella Penestri. He's the editor-in-chief of it. It's a good cause. It's distributed by Daigo Comics. So have a look at that, and it's on Kickstarter. Right, the next thing is the comic of the week I want to talk about. So, instead of just a comic of the week, this is actually an illustrator who creates comics. And one of the ones I looked at, her name's M. Carroll. If you go to her website, mcarroll, spelled EMCARROLL.com, she has got lots of little kind of mini comics on there you can look at, and some of them are well cool. And the one I looked at was called His Face is Red. If you go to mcarroll.com, you can go there and you can see tons of her stuff. So I want to show the chaps one. Now it's really cool and kind of quirky, the one that I looked at. Here it is. Oh, balls, I've gone past it. There we go. So the one I looked at was about a guy whose brother is in the pub with him, and he starts off by saying, how awesome his brother is. About he has this a plump young wife, he's got a cottage with a hawthorn tree, but this man's not my brother because I murdered my brother. And this is a story about how they go to kill a monster together that's plaguing this village, and his brother kills it while he runs away, and he ends up murdering his brother. And so this is it's only a short kind of comic, but it's what happens when his brother comes back after he's murdered and buried him. And I'm not saying you're going to get much of a resolution at the end of it, but just the premise of it, and I love the way it's drawn. She draws with these, and she's got loads of other mini comics on there. She draws with these very quick lines, but it just comes together so well. In fact, it's the kind of way I want to work a bit more like, because if I draw really quickly, I love my sketchy stuff. And then when I do finished stuff, I probably work into it a bit much. And I think you can sometimes lose some of the, without sounding poncy and arty, you can lose some of the immediacy of it. Don't you agree, Andy?
Absolutely.
So it looks like it's drawn really quickly, and she does it, and then she adds these watercolour washes onto it. I just love the look of it. It's just really nice. And so go to her website and check it out. I'll tell you a little bit more about her. She's an interesting lady. She's from Canada originally. Let me just click off that and I'll tell you what she's like. So she's originally from Carroll, Emily Carroll. She grew up in Ontario. She's since moved from there, and she now lives in Stratford with her wife. So I'm not sure if that's Stratford in England. Her books are published, her work's normally published in anthologies. So if you go and look on her website, you'll see some of them. It's published by Faber and Faber in the UK. Just go, I don't want to say too much more about it, but just go and look at these cool stories she does and with her unique style. There's a ton of little mini comics on there. They're amazing, and so Emily Carroll is our comic, her work is the comic of the week. I suggest you look it up. Okay, we're going to now go and talk about our fan film of the week. And me and the boys, we just looked at a fan film which was called John Constantine Hellblazer, and it was directed and produced by Harry Locke IV. But anyway, basically, it's taken from the Andy Diggle comic books, and it's from issue 230. I've got the collected edition, which I just showed the chaps. Now, in the comic book, it's about John Constantine has been captured by a gangster for the supposed murder of a mobster called Pearlie's daughter, and John Constantine is going to be drowned in it. This fan film's a little bit different from the comic book, but it still kind of follows on with it in that you discover that John Constantine is actually working for the mob boss at the end of it, and he uses his magics to in the end win and get the villain to kind of cast what's called an invocation, where he calls back all the people he's murdered to get him. What did we think of the fan film, Andy?
I thought it was really good. Really well shot.
It was, for a fan film. It looks. Some of the fan films you see now are amazing. They look quite glossy. They're quite cool.
That's what I thought. Glossy, you know. It made me want to watch the rest of it. But there is.
You'd want to see more, wouldn't you?
I want to see more. Yeah.
Raoul, you weren't as enamoured.
The thing is, for me, he didn't come across as Constantine. He just looked a little bit too clean cut, a little bit too polished, a little bit too smart.
Also, as far as I know, John Constantine is meant to be a Scouser in my mind.
Yeah.
Whereas he's not.
Yeah, he's Scouser. He's rough. He's a bit of a brawl, a bit of a boozer. He's intelligent, but he's just rough. He's just rough.
Yeah.
Like it's always inferred that he's got all kinds of addictions and problems.
Well, he's addicted. He's a chain smoker and he drinks quite a lot as well. So he gets cancer in the comic book as well. Mm-hmm. The actual character John Constantine is very interesting. Now that they stopped I think they've stopped the Hellblazer comic book.
I actually thought
he actually aged. Unlike other comic book characters, he actually genuinely aged.
I thought that the TV series with what's that Welsh actor?
Matt Ryan.
It got slated and slagged off by loads of people, but that is probably the closest Constantine.
Because he's Welsh.
Sorry?
Because he's Welsh.
No, he's from Swansea. But
that's in Wales. What are you on about?
It's not because he's Welsh. I actually thought that.
He does a good job.
He does a good job, and yes, you could argue that the Constantine should be even more edgy than not edgy. I hate the term edgy. They were trying to be edgy with that Suicide Squad thing. You could argue that Constantine should be even rougher.
That was last episode. That was ages ago.
Episode, yeah. So, but I thought that was closest representation. The worst representation being Keanu Reeves, of course, which is completely like...
The Keanu Reeves one is an okay film, but it's not John Constantine. It's Keanu Reeves, and that's the problem. He doesn't play John Constantine.
It's nothing like Constantine
at
all.
The thing I like about this is that it follows exactly from the comic book, whereas the TV show, I do like the TV show. It was cancelled after one season. It got picked up again.
Oh, it's been picked up.
So there's going to be another season of it. But the problem I have with it is that they had to make it into an American TV show where he's fixed in that kind of weird mill thing. And I know he travels to other places. I don't like that. And I also don't like the fact that Chaz in it keeps coming back to life and he's this big American dude now.
Yeah.
Whereas actually he's a London cabbie in it. And he has his main squeeze with him. Now, she's in the comic books, Z is. She actually dies later on in the comics. I don't think they'll kill her off. But the fact he's too fixed, whereas John Constantine went to America, he's travelled around parts of India.
He's nomadic, isn't he? And he's rough and he's ready and he's the complete ultimate anti-hero.
My favourite comic book character. I've read him from Swamp Thing to where he first appeared to Hellblazer and all that.
So going back to this fan film, it was good. It was well shot. It was well directed, but it just wasn't Constantine.
Well, I think the thing is, when you've watched the TV series and you've seen episodes and episodes, it's gonna colour you.
Well, it's not even the TV series. It's just if you from the comic books.
But you could say the same. Well, neither's Matt Ryan.
But he has an effect at a Liverpool accent.
It just sounds like a bit of a Welshman.
Yeah, but if you go to North Wales, all the North Walians sound a bit Scouse anyway.
John Constantine. I do really like Matt Ryan in it. For me, I liked it, and I think there's, particularly at the end of it, when you saw him there smoking in the kind of shadow, that looked just like a Hellblazer front cover. It looked just like one. I really liked it. I would want to see more of that. I think to be honest, of course, if you're used to a guy playing, but John Constantine is based on the look of him, don't you?
Sting.
Yeah, it's based on Sting when he was younger and all that. But that front cover I've got, if you want to read the story, you can't be asked to find issue 230. If you get the Hellblazer John Constantine Joyride graphic novel collected, it's the first story in there. But I really enjoyed it, and I thought there's some amazing fans. This is why I want to do this. So if you want to see that, you can go on YouTube and look up John Constantine, Hellblazer, and I think there's only one, maybe 2 or 3 others, if possible, Hellblazer ones. But that is I'll put the link to it on the little bit at the bottom of our podcast. But it was really cool. Now the next thing is another new. You got anything to add about it at all, anyone? Cool. The next thing is also a new thing. This is called Geek Music Face-Off. Every week I'm going to pick some geek heroes who have delved into the world of music. We're going to listen to their offerings and compare them, and they will battle each other. This week we're going to start off big. We're going to start off with Mr. T versus Macho Man Randy Savage. So, chaps, I will start off with Mr. T. We've gone with the obvious choice, Treat Your Mother Right. We'll listen to it. Then we'll listen to the Macho Man, and then between us we'll decide who wins this epic battle of geeky musicalness. Are you ready?
Yes.
Are you primed?
Yes.
Okay, so starting off with Mr. T. Can I just say before playing the Mr. T one, and I'll make it full screen for you. Listening, you are going to hear part of this, listeners, but I won't play all of it because I'll be infringing their copyright. This song starts off with the best argument between children, and Mr. T stands idly by while a small black kid is calling a big fat white girl fat, and she's calling him skinny. And it's only when the mothers gets brought in that Mr. T steps in. So, and then also, and again, if you look this up on the internet, type in Mr. T, Treat Your Mother Right. Mr. T pulls out a microphone from his back pocket, and he does it so naturally, as though he just does it all the time. So watch this. This is an amazing video. This is Mr. T with Treat Your Mother Right.
12? You couldn't be more than 5. You're so fat they have to jack you up to take off your shoes. Yeah, well, you're so skinny your eyes are in single file. Well, you're so ugly your ears stick out to get away from your face. Well, your mama is
Hold it, wait a minute. Don't
T
bring in
couldn't
one
take
mother
it
into this.
anymore.
She ain't here. If it wasn't for your mother, you wouldn't be here. So remember, when you put down one mother, you put down mothers all over the world.
And look, the friends now.
Treat her right, treat your mother right. Treat her right, treat her right. Treat her right, treat your mother right. Treat her right, treat her right.
Mother, there is no other like mother. So treat her right. Mother, I always love her. My mother. So treat her right, treat her right. Every for the moan and the miserable groan from the pain that she felt when I was born. Always for the oven with its burning heat, where she stood making sure I had something to eat. T is for the time that she stayed up nights and took my temperature when I wasn't feeling right. H is for the hard-earned money she spent to keep clothes on my back and try to pay the rent. E is every wrinkle I put on her face.
So there we go, that was Treat Your Mother Right by Mr. T, an epic song. So the next song we're going to have competing against that, and I've got to admit, that is a strong entry.
It's a tall order.
Is going to be the Macho Man Randy Savage with a song which was Macho Man. I think he must have gone to WCW. Times probably got quite hard, and he fell out with Hulk Hogan. And this is legitimately not as a
Quite
storyline.
publicly, wasn't it?
Yeah, quite publicly. He was not a big fan of the Hulkster, and so he decided that he would make a rap album, and then just like Eminem would, or any of those homies, he would call Hulk Hogan out in the form of rap. So this is "Be a Man" from 2003 by the one and only Macho Man Randy Savage. Ooh yeah!
Whatever they call you, I'm coming after you.
Sounds like it, doesn't it?
I think it is overplayed. You set it off. Set it off. Used to be hard off, now you done turns off. Doing telephone commercials, I see ya. Dancing and tight as a ballerina. I do wanna know you had those tendencies, cause you've been running from life like I got a disease. Dude, please, the pay-per-view, that was a joke. You're avoiding Randy Savage cause you know you can smoke. Come on, the 45 the rock straight too fast. But when they challenge told him to a real fight, he passed. I called him out, but the punk was scared to go. It was a charity event, but the Hulk didn't show. Hollywood Hulkster, you're at the end of your rope, and I'ma kick you in the butt and wash your mouth on, off this mic so I can put you in check. Be a man on. Come on, don't be scared. You're running from macho, that's what I heard. Be a man on. Come on, don't be a chump.
So, we've just listened to our two entrants, both strong entries, Mr. T versus Macho Man. So does anyone want to come out, first of all? We'll start off with, whose side do you want to come out on?
I'm going to come out on Mr. T's side, and I'll tell you why, because you've got one song which is about being horrible to somebody else,
Hulk Hogan.
being an arse, whereas Mr. T's coming out with a moral message about being good to your mother.
Treat your mother right, yeah.
That's right, but treat your mother right. So I'm on his side, all
I'm
the way.
on Mr. T's side, even though I thought the song was rubbish, I just thought that Macho Randy Whatnot song was even worse. Plus, in a fight, Mr. T would win, so therefore, Mr. T.
And I'd also like to just stand on the back of that, the way that he pulled his microphone out the back, and the way that he was dancing was classic. He was clearly into what he was doing.
Those
you couldn't
shorts
believe
and
it.
socks combination, was a big winner.
Yeah, you wear a lot of dungarees as well, didn't you, Mr. T?
That's exactly the same outfit that he had in the A-Team, because I had all the dolls. I had 4 dolls, and he was wearing that outfit. Yeah.
Well, he used to dress like, he used to be a bouncer and like a bodyguard, didn't he? And he was known for all his jewellery and all that, so he kind of got noticed.
He got the jewellery he confiscated each piece, didn't he?
Yeah, I think it was. He used to wear it. And
somebody you had to throw out or get rid of or whatever. He confiscated.
yeah, or stealing, as we like to refer to it. But he did treat his mother right, just like the craze.
Well,
so, Raoul, you're going with Mr. T.
Well, yeah.
That's 1-0 to Mr. T. You're going with Andy.
Yeah, Mr. T, I think
Treat
musically he was
superior.
Ahead of his time, I'd say.
Yeah.
I love the use of kind of neon lights in the background, that kind of bright kind of pinks and reds as well.
And the ladies, who were at the back singing
with those massive poodle perms as well.
Well, were they
Treat your right, treat your mother right.
You wouldn't see backing girls dressed like that in today's age, would you? They are way out of some mothers group or something.
I think
it looked like Mothers Union.
Yeah, Mothers Union. It's like they do. That's right. They do it in their spare time. Women's Institute girls, they are.
So that's a clean sweep then for Mr. T this week.
3-0.
If you agree or disagree with us, please you can reach us on the Twitter at Empire Geek and let us know what you think. Should the Macho Man Randy Savage, who is a legitimate wrestling god, should he have done better in that?
And your reasons as well. Let us know your reasons.
Let us know your reasons in however many characters you have on Twitter. But it'd be nice to know. And if you want to nominate someone, because I was considering having Macho Man versus Brent Spiner, who played Commander Data in Star Trek, but I'm going to have to save that for another week. So Mr. T moves forward to the next round. However many rounds I decide we're going to have. So he's the winner this week. Well done, Mr. T. Which leads us on to our last section. You'll all be pleased to know. And that is Conventions of the Week, and I've chosen 2 of them. The first one is Wonderlands, and this is the Sunderland UK Graphic Novel Expo, Saturday, May the 30th in Sunderland. If you want to find the website, it's www.wonderland.org.uk. And if you know anything about British comic books, and you'll know that Sunderland is the hometown of Brian Talbot, and it looks like it's going to be quite good. You're going to have a few different people there. A lot of British kind of comic book artists. You're going to have people like Al Davison, who I've met a few times. I mentioned it before. Did a lot of stuff for Doctor Who. His book, The Spiral Cage, which I have, which is almost like his fever dreams that he got when he first kind of was growing up with spina bifida. And you're also going to have people Ian Edgington, Anne Hunt Emerson, and a ton of other people. Looks like quite a nice. If you're into your comic art side of it, Wonderlands is possibly the place to go. There's going to be workshops, authors, publisher exhibitions, and tons of stuff you can go to. So that was quite nice. So that's Wonderlands, and that is on, just as a reminder again, that is on the 30th of May in Sunderland. And finally, the Granite City Comic Con, 30th of May 2015. You can go to www. Did I add too many W's in then? www.granitecitycomiccon, all one word, .co.uk, and this is going to be, I think, Aberdeen's first and only Comic-Con, and there's going to be a ton of folks there as well you can go to. They're going to have Alan Grant. Alan Grant was one of the top people who worked on Judge Dredd, stuff like Vendetta in Gotham and things like that. He worked with John Wagner and Carlos Esqueras, who was the first guy to draw him. So he'll be there along with a few other people as well. Should see with the other people. There's going to be some cosplay there. Let's look at some of the events. There's going to be some panels, signings, and lots of people selling stuff. That's quite fun. So that's the Granite City Comic Con. Go to that website. And just a reminder again, that is on the 30th of May 2015. And that, for this week, is all we need of EOG, Empire Geek. If you want to tweet us, Empire Geek on Twitter. If you want to email us, empireofgeek@hotmail.com. And should we all say a hearty goodbye? So, Paul?
Toodle pip.
It's been a blast as always. Andy?
Ciao.
Raoul?
Arrivederci.
Very nice. And from me, Steve. See you all next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
That was ghastly.